Yo, name some of the biggest kind of artists from the UK Bhangra industry, like from that 2000s period, right? That have literally just dropped off. Like you just don't know where they are anymore.
Hardcore.
Yeah. Best hardcore song. Hey, Glassy, Glassy.
Yeah.
And then you have Miss Scandalous.
Yes.
Everyone wants to know where Miss Scandalous is.
Yeah.
Like she literally.
Where do you think she is?
I read somewhere that she's now a social worker.
Oh, interesting.
But
okay.
it's like she'd done that song, and then she just disappeared after that album.
Yeah.
Remember Miss Apulia?
Yeah, his songs were good.
Yeah, I saw recently that he's gone back.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah,
he's gone back to religion.
Yeah.
I think it's not Ambatari. I don't know if it's true. B21?
Yes, B21.
Who else was there? Yo, remember the three letters, three brothers?
RDB.
RDB, Untouchables. No,
Yeah.
RDB's one thing, but say Untouchables is something else. But obviously, you know, RDB split up. You know, it's actually been 10 years since Kuli passed away.
I know, sadly, yeah.
But do you not think, right, not enough was done to celebrate Kuli's life this year?
Yeah, I think that we should get them all together and get them to collaborate again and do something special.
Honestly, I don't think RDB would ever come back together because
Why?
obviously Kuli passed away.
Yeah.
And then off the back of that, obviously Manj and Surge.
Yeah.
They
Sadly,
had
the differences.
Yeah, and obviously it was made public, etc. But I think the thing bigger than that is the Untouchables brand. Because RDB were part of Untouchables, which I think is one of the biggest movements in the UK.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys kind of either fell off, went their separate ways, or no one knows who they were, what they are, what they're doing, etc.
Yeah.
But can you remember every member of Untouchables? So if you go from the top, RDB, right? Who were the three members of RDB?
Manj.
There's Manj.
Yeah.
There was Kuli.
And Surge.
And then who was the fourth member?
Tony.
No, Tony was you know what? I'm so glad you had Tony, right?
Yeah.
Tony obviously was Untouchables, right? He
But
owned,
wasn't
he
he?
owned, but no one ever knew.
Yeah, but he was a part of. Well, he owned. Yeah.
Untouchables, yeah. But no one ever knew who Tony was.
Yeah.
No one ever knew what Tony looked like.
Yeah.
He could have been in all these music videos, and no one ever kind of realized, you know, who Tony was or what he was doing. But Nindy Kaur.
Indy Sagu, yeah.
The fourth member.
And I feel like she did so much for Manj. Like, you know, obviously they moved abroad, and you know she did.
Yeah.
You know, I did read somewhere that obviously, you know, she, you know, regarding money, she spent so much money supporting him.
Yeah, like if you haven't seen the Frequency and Friends podcast, I think Manj mentioned it. Like they were living in a basement, and literally, like I think she was maxing out credit cards.
Yeah, to support him.
And literally, when she kind of got there, it was like they built a movement in Canada, but they didn't build it. Obviously, they were building in the UK, but they were responsible for North America as well.
Yeah.
But okay, so there's Nindy Kaur as well.
Yeah.
Who else? Remember Indy Sagu?
Yeah. Do you remember his song?
No, but in that, what was his iconic look? It was a white coat.
Yeah.
The white
He was always kitted out in white. Yeah, that was his signature look.
Favorite Indy Sagu song?
Ooh.
I personally think there was only one that kind of defined Indy Sagu.
Body Corgi.
I remember the first time I saw it, right, it was on Z Music. Remember Z Music?
Yeah.
It was Z Music, and I think the show was called Fat Tracks or whatever, right? And literally, I remember the Shinda came on, he's like, in translation, he's like, yo, my favourite song today with Indy Sagu at Dawn. That was a heavy movement. And then, who else was there from Untouchables that people don't remember? There was also, you know, Gubi Sandhu?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even Gubi, man, like Gubi kind of disappeared. And then he kind of came back in the last few years across social media,
Do you remember his
etc.
song though? That kicked off. Yeah.
Was you a fan?
No, that wasn't my favourite song.
Was you a fan of Gubi?
No.
Yeah, I think it was kind of...
Do you think he was a bit underrated though at the time?
I think, right, like, from the UK point of view, it was that UK kind of movement of singers that kind of came through the ranks. Obviously, Jessie Sidhu had like B21.
But I also feel like back then, some of them were like one-hit wonders.
But he wasn't really a one-hit wonder because obviously RDB and Untouchables made so many bangers with him. and he had like song after song after song, and he was on a lot of posters.
Yeah.
But after kind of the Untouchables went their separate ways, he didn't actually do anything.
Exactly, yeah.
And then now he's kind of coming out, he's doing shows here and there, but he's never done an interview.
No.
He's never been out to the forefront. No one's ever heard his story since those early days. And that's fun as well. But who else was there? There was also, the roster was huge. There was, you remember Jatt?
Yes.
Named
What is
after
song?
The thing is, he didn't really have like an iconic song. It was just the name G.I. Jatt.
Jatt, yeah.
And
It was just his...
He had that album, I think he dropped the album towards the end, but the album didn't really do great.
Yeah.
He might disagree and be like, yo, done great things, but honestly, as a fan, I thought it was a bit basic as well. But yo, G.I. Jatt was one.
Yeah.
And then who was the singer that everyone loved from like Untouchables? Manak-E.
Yes. Hor Glassy.
I don't know.
That was a good track.
Yeah, I think Manak-E, when he was a part of Untouchables, that movement, anything he did was just hot, like hit after hit after hit after hit. And I was surprised, man, like when Untouchables kind of went their separate ways. When RDB went to Bollywood, I thought Manak-E would go with them.
Yeah.
But then obviously now Manak-E can then kind of do his own solo stuff, etc. But he kind of never...
Manak-E's got some good songs.
He never peaked, man. But I think, yeah, it was good to kind of get him back.
Yeah.
Into
It'd be
scene
good
as
to
well.
have him back actually, because he did have some good tracks.
Yeah. And then, yo, do you remember the guy who done the infamous rap that everybody used to try and do?
Rhythm Rider.
Bro, that guy, literally, when he said one hit wonder, in my opinion,
That was him.
One
That
hit
was
wonder.
him, yeah.
I never heard him do anything after
Yeah.
that. But it was always
Yeah. I think everybody knew that. It'd a bit like, yeah.
And then off of that, then there was Lightning MC.
Yes.
And then Lightning MC,
Yeah.
I think when Lightning MC was part of Untouchables, he was cool.
What was his song?
Was that Some Next Auntie? yeah. That Some Next Auntie one, that was popping. That was a good one. But I think when he kind of left Untouchables again, he done some stuff. Remember he done a song with Notorious Ash?
Yes. Oh yeah.
He had
that
that
was
kind
a
of
banger.
line. Yeah. He done some stuff. Then even then, it's like he kind of just faded it out. Like he had some sort of like issues in the industry, controversy, etc. But it'd be great to kind of see what he's up to.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And then Sahara.
La.
Yeah. But you know what mad thing about that is? Like, I remember once reading a message board about Sahara, right? And someone was like, yo, they were literally like one-hit wonders, but that album is still popping.
Yeah,
and literally they say they get so many bookings in Pakistan, with the Pakistani.
I mean, I feel that La Gaga just song is just everywhere. It's played at weddings, it's played at parties, it's played at events. It's still going on now.
And then I think off of the back of that, right, it was like even Bollywood remade that song as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was in a Bollywood movie. Yeah.
And it was the G and Akshay
Yeah,
Kumar.
yeah,
That was kind of heavy as well. And then, yo, remember Mets and Tricks?
Yes.
Was it? This goes out to the girls, to the front, to the back, to the middle. Did you know? I don't
We're
get,
gonna take it the bad boy play. That
like
was
Mets
a
and
good
Tricks,
song,
right? I don't think they did anything else. That's it. That's all they. I think that's what they contribute to the industry. Like that is that hit.
It's played and it's amazing.
It's still played. It's still popping up. They've done an album as well, but again, I wonder what they're also back in the gig scene as well. They kind of disappeared from the gig scene.
Yes.
And now they're kind of back in the gig scene as well.
Yeah.
And I remember Nate spoke to them at an event we done, like Uni Tour, and they were kind of talking about the good times because they were like, it's that era of people that people want to see as well. But that was kind of cool as well.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Kudos, DJ H.
DJ H, oh yeah. What was his?
But people forget that, man. It's like, yo, he started with Untouchables.
Yeah.
And then he kind of, blew himself up. Obviously, when people mention DJ H, right, they remember Giovanni and all that, but they don't remember the stuff he did on Untouchables. And the first song was with Lembed.
Yeah.
Remember it?
Yeah.
Ishq Brandi.
Sana ishq parandi char gayi.
What did you think of that video?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No, for the time, I thought it was
For the
quite
time
good.
it was great, but when you look back at it now, you think, oh,
Yeah.
it's a bit cringy.
But H was there as well. And they had a tour group, which Lethal Tollies. I don't know who they are, because obviously tour groups always disband.
Yeah.
And they kind of rebrand and create new images, etc., etc. But Lethal Tollies, I don't know who they are. But that was also always a name that was mentioned as well. But you mentioned Mesopolia, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to Mesopodia's early songs. I don't know if it's true or not. I'd love to sit with Mesopolia and ask him, but he had that song Tumka too.
Oh yeah.
They done the original Tumka.
Yeah.
I think it was RDB done it.
Ah,
I don't know if RDB did the part 2 either as well, but that was movements as well.
Yeah.
But that's a massive kind of roster. But bro, one person I totally forgot, right?
Yeah.
Who I don't think gets enough credit is Binder. So that was the guy, right? And if you don't remember him, right, he literally He done a few tracks with him.
He did,
He's always
yeah.
with a baseball cap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then his son kind of came later on into the scene. But I don't think his son actually released anything. But like when you see his face, and like we'll watch some videos in a bit, man. But his face was literally like an iconic kind of part of that package. Because in that song, Oh Preeti.
Yeah. How did that?
He was one that minded it.
Yeah.
But even again, like I don't know if he sang it or minded, but again, he was like an iconic kind of face of that as well. But one thing that I do actually know, right, and I think doesn't get mentioned enough is Amrit Saab.
Oh,
Like people don't realise, like obviously he done the chart show, but he mentioned that he wrote so many songs for RDB.
He did,
He brought so many artists over
He was saying how many songs he's written and
for RDB as well, artists that came across, but he never got the credit. And you know, even though he wasn't technically part of Untouchables, I would group him as being technically part of Untouchables, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's something.
I think you'd always associate them together.
Yeah. And then there's one person we missed off. E equals MC.
Ooh, MC.
Mahi ben Mahi.
Yes.
But again, like after he left kind of Untouchables, you know, he done his stuff, kind of solo stuff, etc. But he kind of needed that Untouchables. I mean, they all needed each other around
They
him.
did, yeah.
Because without them, literally individually,
They weren't, yeah.
it's like individually they'd never actually reached the same heights.
Yeah.
They weren't doing anything. And then if you look at kind of RDB,
Can you imagine if they came back together now and what it would be like?
do you know what? Like, I think that is like, if we can bring like Untouchables back, I think that'd be sick.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, whether I don't know why they disbanded, etc. But it's can we?
But do you think they would be able to keep up with the music industry now as it was back then?
I don't know, man. But
that's the thing, yeah.
I think if we can bring them all back round the table,
Yeah.
like to see each other, because they haven't been together. If we can bring everyone back, then I think that's a massive, massive kind of start.
Yeah.
And
that'd be amazing.
And the stories that they have is a legacy. Because at the end of the day, like we mentioned, it's Kuli's 10-year death anniversary.
Yeah.
You know, we celebrate the life of Kuli.
Yeah,
Story
absolutely.
of him, because his stories, again, only they know. But it's can we bring them back? So if, and I'm talking hypothetically, right? Because it might not be possible because...
But we can make it possible.
Yeah. If we could bring Untouchables together and celebrate the life of Kuli, right? Obviously, we've gone through who we remember, etc. But we got to kind of bring this list in, and we got to kind of figure out where they are, or if they're anywhere to be seen, right? Yeah. But before we do that, right? Like, you want to watch some films of music videos?
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, let's go down memory lane. Yeah.
So if we kind of look at the first one, right? So let's look at what's the data there, man? So yeah, we'll get on the screen, right? So your reactions to that video. But you know, the thing is with these videos, right? Is like I'm watching the video right now, right? And it is not a good video.
No.
It's not a good video, right?
But I think back in the time, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a convertible cars, everyone in the video, let's just vibe, let's just do what we gotta do. But it was a vibe in itself, man.
But every wedding it had people dancing, singing, and yeah, it's a good track.
Rate it out of 10. If I had to rate the video out of 10, what would you rate it?
7.
Even now?
Yeah. It's a good song.
No, the song was good, but video.
The video at the time, it was, you know,
All right, so
yeah.
Indy Sagu's Body Calls It. Video. Thoughts?
Terrible video.
You think? I thought it was quite good. I think even now, it's like it would still work now. Like, it's all dark silhouette. You got Bhangra dancers in there. You got the legend Shrinda Chinda in there. I don't know how come his hair is like, you know, I think they red there. But I thought, good video, man.
Okay, interesting.
I think that video is better than some of the videos you got now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Next song, Dil Karta, Gubi Sandhu. Come back to your basics.
I don't like that song.
Do you know one thing I'd love to ask, right? Is, okay, you don't like that song, right? But the video itself, one thing I'd love to ask, right, is how were these videos directed and planned?
Yeah.
Or is it just at that time it was dark clubs, smoke?
I feel like
I
feel like all those videos back then were made in clubs, people dancing, and that was their video.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Everyone in a club dancing, girls dancing, boys dancing. You got the artist in the middle singing. That was the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, okay, let's.
But it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did media go clubbing? Yo, Manak-E's Horror Glassy. You know the thing with this video, right? Is like, okay, it was a nice video. I thought it was shot quite well.
Yeah.
But I feel like Manak-E should have been in the video. Like, they had a model in there.
Yeah.
He was the face of it, and a lot of people thought that was Manak-E.
Yeah.
And I thought at that time, I thought that was kind of harsh.
I think he should have been in the video.
It was harsh for the singer back then to kind of sing a model. But again, I would love to know what Manak-E's thoughts were about the video. Like, was he aware that this was going to happen, etc., or was he aware that the song was just the here and there, right?
Yeah.
Next one, Mahi. This was in a garage, getting your MOT done, and dancers were dancing. Do you know what I mean?
Again. Again, dancers dancing. And,
But do you know what I think? As the time went on, Untouchables videos got better and better and better.
Obviously,
and
with the times, and obviously,
Yeah,
it got better. Yeah.
And then okay, let's check out Sahara's Lal Gagara.
Yeah, it's a good song and it's a good video.
Yeah.
Again,
no clubs. It's just a simple concept.
Yeah.
But one thing I always want to like right now, right? Sahara started with like Herbie and the band, right?
Yeah.
And then the two brothers joined, but then the third brother disappeared.
Where did he go?
I've always wondered like where did he go? Like,
What happened to him?
I'd love to talk to Herbie and Gubs and find out like, is it just he just decided against it, etc. Because obviously
Maybe just took a slow exit,
Because Herbie was always the face. And even now, you always see Herbie and Gubs together, but you never see the third brother.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to know what kind of went on there as well, man.
It's always a third brother that's just not,
Yeah. Let's look at, Mets and Tricks, Aja Mahi, the hotel video.
That's a good video.
Did you think?
Yeah, that is good.
It's just Mets and Tricks in a corridor hallway.
But do you know what? It worked because everyone knows the Mex and Tricks song.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, I think we all oversee the video because we're so engrossed in the song and trying to
But I never understood the video. Like literally, okay, there's a guy who's singing in like the concierge, the lounge.
Yeah.
And then you got this girl getting ready, going out, and you got Mets and Tricks in the hallway of a hotel corridor. Like, I never understood. Like, okay, she's going out, but who's the guy singing in the middle?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, look at the time, sick video. But looking back at it, like, did this video even make sense?
Yeah.
But look, man, if we can make it happen, right? Let's just go down the list.
Yeah.
And what do we know about where they are?
RDB, I think, Dubai, Canada.
So obviously RDB, if you break it down, like Manj does spend a lot of time in Dubai and Canada as well. But Serge, I actually don't know where he is.
No.
Like, I know he travels to maybe Dubai, India, etc. But honestly, I don't know where the guy is.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Indy Sagu. I feel like Indy Sagu never left the UK.
So do you feel like he's still in the UK somewhere?
I feel like he's still in Bradford.
Okay.
Because a lot of Untouchables were from that Bradford, Yorkshire area, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Indy is still based in Bradford. Gubi.
Leicester.
Yeah,
he's a Leicester boy.
Yeah. I feel like he hasn't left Leicester either.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Do you think he's having a quiet life in Leicester?
You know what? Based on his gigging, like his TikToks, he's out there a lot more, but I feel like maybe he's still in Leicester. And then on top of that as well, like 100%, I know Manak-E's in Leicester.
Okay, he's a Leicester boy.
Because I've seen him so many times in different functions and community festivals in Leicester, and he's always there. I feel like he's still in Leicester. And if we want to track him down, we can find him in Leicester as well. But Rhythm Rider.
I don't know where he is.
Yeah, I actually don't know where he is. Like, I wouldn't even know where to look for him.
Do you think he's in the UK?
I would not know where to find. I would not even know where to kind of find this guy or look for him, because if you type on Instagram Rhythm Rider, is he still using that name? Because a lot of these artists don't use the name anymore. So would they use it? Then E equals MC.
Canada.
I think he's still in Canada, right? I don't think he ever. I think he moved. Because no, he was Canadian, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was Canadian, then he moved to the UK.
But I don't think he was in the UK for long.
And then he went back.
Then he went back to Canada.
So I think he's still out there.
Yeah.
And I think he's maybe semi-active, so we could find him through social media, etc. G.I. Jatt.
UK maybe?
The only thing I remember about G.I. Jatt, right, was MSN days.
Yeah.
You remember MSN?
Yeah.
And he used to always talk about, he used to always talk about, because he was on my MSN contacts, right? He used to always talk about TVR cars, etc., etc.
I think he's definitely in the UK somewhere.
Yeah.
I couldn't even, could be somewhere else, but I'd say he's here.
Who else we got? Sahara.
Bradford.
I don't think they left. I personally, I think as great as they're doing, etc., I feel like they're actually still in the... You know what, funny story, right? I actually performed at Herbie's son's birthday party.
Where was that?
This was a few years ago in East London.
London.
And that's what I was wondering. I was like, that's why I was
So have they moved to London?
I don't know, because his son had a birthday party in East London. Because when I used to dance, I danced at his son's birthday party. So they could be in London.
Yeah.
Or we could just be on the assumption they're back in Yorkshire. But they did kind of blow up.
Yeah.
So they could still be, you know, somewhere. Then you got, you know, Lightning MC.
London, I mean, I'm going to say London, but again, we don't know where he is.
I don't think he left London. I think
No.
when his music career kind of, you know, faded away,
Yeah.
I think he just kind of faded into the background with that as well. Binder and Jinder.
100% Bradford still. Yeah. They're up north somewhere.
Up north, 100%.
Yeah.
Nindy Core.
Obviously
with
Canada.
Manj.
Yeah.
Is it Canada? I don't know, because he's always showing stuff in Dubai. He's always showing
I think their lives are between Canada, Dubai, and maybe a little bit of UK.
Yeah, because obviously their son is also in the faction as well now.
Yeah.
So his career is kind of popular. I think he's in, I don't know if he's in North America, but he's doing stuff in mainstream as well.
Yeah.
Amrit Saab.
Birmingham, obviously.
Obviously,
He's a Birmingham boy.
He's a
We saw
regular
him
boy.
yesterday.
Yeah, we saw him yesterday. So Amrit Saab, we can trace him down.
Yeah.
Mets and Tricks.
Manchester, maybe?
No, they are. Because I remember in the Desi Live...
Definitely Manchester still.
They're in Manchester. And on top of that, we're actually promoting their gigs. So
there you go, Manchester.
Manchester,
Yeah.
DJH.
London boy. Yeah, he's definitely a London boy.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone in Untouchables. If we could bring them together, it'd be wicked.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? I actually have Manj's number, man.
Bring him.
Hold on one sec. Because the other thing is if we can kind of find where everyone is, then we can send DMs, then we can do all that. But yo, let me send Manj a message. Yo, Manj, what's going on, bro? Listen, I know it's a long time, right? And I don't want to be that guy that kind of messages you out the blue. But bro, we're literally sitting here on a podcast, right? And we're thinking about kind of, you know, celebrating, you know, Kuli's life and also doing an Untouchables reunion. Like, we want to know, is it possible to basically bring the Untouchables crew back together for one last time and just celebrate, you know, the music, the era, and celebrate life with Kuli. Bro, if you want to jump on this, man, it'd be much appreciated. But yeah, bro, let me know your thoughts, man. I'd love to hear it. Send.
Woo, let's see what he says.
You know, let me, like, while we're waiting for this message, right, back, and I'm hoping he sends it back before the podcast kind of ends, right, is, you know, do you think, like, a lot of these kind of guys kind of went their separate ways and that was it, man? Like,
but do you think it was the...
Do you think there was fallouts? Do you think they had fallouts in between? 100%.
100% fallouts.
And do you think, like, as time goes on, people grow all those grudges?
Yeah, but then I feel like new artists have come in and the music industry has slightly changed, which has pushed these guys back and feel like maybe they haven't got a place in the music industry now.
That was actually super quick. One sec, trying to unlock my phone. All right. I'm hoping, man, it's a 31-second message, man, so let's see, man, if he agrees.
Hey, Dage, what's going on? It's Manj. Yeah, brother, Untouchables reunion. That sounds like a super duper good idea. Let's bring all the boys back. This is going to be awesome, especially in memory of Kuli Baji. I mean, I'm sure he'll be very proud of everything that we've accomplished, and he'll be very proud of the boys. So if we can bring them all back and do this Untouchables reunion, hell yeah, I'm down. Let's make some calls. Let's bring them back. Untouchables, let's go.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't think it's happening, but yo,
it's gonna happen.
Untouchables is happening.
It's
We're gonna bring the
happening.
reunion.
Yeah.
We'll bring them back.
100%.
Even if we can't bring them all back, we're gonna bring back as many as we can.
As you
So
can.
yo, I think.
And like you said, celebrate.
Yeah. So I think the best thing to do, right, is we've got a list of quite a few names.
And it'd be great to hear how they, you know, how they're separated and get theirs.
So yeah, I'm gonna take the bottom half. You take the top half of the list.
Let's do this.
Reach out on Instagram
Yeah.
if you can, find them, and then what we'll do is, let's just set up some calls first.
Yeah, let's do it.
If we can set up some video calls with these guys and see what they're saying, then maybe we can make some magic happen.
Yeah.
And let's first see if they can agree.
They will agree.
Yeah.